efforts to keep communicating with China, even after recent military encounters and tensions over Taiwan.
The administration has strengthened America's ability to outcompete China for the next decade and beyond.
White House spokeswoman Karine Jean-Pierre says they also understand China will continue to take provocative steps. Secretary of State Blinken heads to China this week after canceling a previous trip during the spy balloon incident. A trial over the mass shooting at a Pittsburgh synagogue is winding down.
More than 50 witnesses have testified in the Tree of Life synagogue trial, which is in its third week. Robert Bowers is accused of killing 11 Jewish worshipers in October 2018. He has pleaded not guilty to 63 charges, including hate crimes. Prosecutors say Bowers carried out the attack because of his hatred for Jewish people, citing anti-Semitic comments he made online.
To him is a little bit low, and that could have been a strike. That's the low part of the zone that's been
committee participants view it as likely that some further rate increases will be appropriate this year to bring inflation down to 2% over time.
Cardinals need a couple more base runners here. The 1-2 pitch, and Goldie calls time at the plate. So the count is at 1-2. 8-5 Giants as we play here in the bottom of the 10th inning. 11 hits for San Francisco, 9 for the Cardinals. Next pitch to Goldie is fouled off. And 3 of those 11 hits came in the 10th inning. And the hit before that is painful, is the Yastrzemski home run. And that followed a leadoff walk to Lamont Wade Jr. in that 9th inning. Oh, so close. The pitch to Goldie is outside, 2-2. Well, you got have to have a lot of fortitude to keep playing here today after that gut punch, and after the way things have been going for the Cardinals, who've dropped 11 of their last 14. The 2-2 pitch to Goldie is grounded towards the left side. That's foul, and he's got a new life. Doval is very, very tough. Earned run average at 1.86. That's it. The 2-2 delivered to Goldie is a check swing on a ball outside, and he did not go, according to our first base umpire. That's Adam Beck. Well, there was been some twists and turns in this game, but there was a big crash in the 9th inning. 3-2 the count. To Goldschmidt with Gorman next. The pitch to Goldie is swung on and missed. He struck him out for out number 1. And before Gorman bats here in the bottom of the 10th inning, let's pause for station ID on the Cardinals Radio Network, powered by Graybar. Check swing, ball 1 to Gorman, who's looking for his first hit here this afternoon. He struck out twice, he's flied out, and he's walked. And you want to see the Cardinals get the tying run to the plate here, at least in the 10th inning. And the pitch to Gorman is fouled back, 1-1. Get the tying run at the plate in either Arenado or Jordan Walker, Dylan Carlson. Any combination is fine with me. Give yourself a shot here after a 3-run top half of this inning. Doval delivers to Gorman, high, 2-1. Doval has had 12 walks in 29 innings, a little on the high side. The 2-1 pitch, a check swing. Nope, he went. Couldn't lay off a pitch in the dirt. Gorman chased, 2-2 the count to him. We saw Doval in game 1 of this series, and he went an inning and a third in that game and picked up save number 17. Giants are trying to close out the Cardinals and sweep them here in St. Louis. Slider, and he lays off this time, 3-2. Cardinals won just one game in San Francisco, so they're 1-4 against the Giants this season after 4 years in a row of winning the series against them. The 3-2 pitch to Gorman is swung on and fouled at the plate. Not much energy in the ballpark right now after that 9th inning and the top of the 10th inning. Cardinals not done yet, though. A 3-2 pitch to Gorman is low, ball 4, and the Cardinals have the tying run at the plate in Nolan Arenado. A walk to Gorman, and here's the shot you want. Both Arenado and Walker to face Doval here in the bottom of the 10th inning with 2 runners aboard. And Nolan provides some energy. He has 13 homers, 45 RBIs. He has singled and extended his hitting streak in this game. First pitch to Arenado is taken for strike 1. Donovan takes his lead, so does Gorman. Their runs don't matter. The run that matters is the man at the plate, and it's Arenado. And it's a 1-strike pitch, and here it comes. It's taken for strike 2, a high strike at 101 miles an hour. He can rush it up there, Doval can. Now, will Nolan be able to protect here? The 0-2 delivery is swung on and missed. He struck him out. And he blew that one by Arenado, who has struck out 3 times here this afternoon. So it's up to the young Cardinal left fielder, Jordan Walker, who's got 2 hits here today. A strikeout, a hit, a ground out, and a hit. And he too represents the tying run at the plate. And if he can extend it, it's Dylan Carlson in the on-deck circle. A tough assignment here with Doval, the pitcher. He's ready, and the first pitch to Walker is outside, ball 1. Jordan has 4 home runs and 16 RBIs, certainly has the power to tie this game. He's got to get the right pitch and have the right swing. Doval has his sign from his catcher, Bailey, set at the belt. And the pitch to Walker is outside, way outside, 2-0. Well, here Jordan can do a little bit of narrowing down the strike zone, maybe look for a pitch that he can handle and just wail away at it. I'd be all for him swinging here, 2-0. And the pitch to Walker is swung on and hit hard to right field, but it's right to the right fielder, Conforto, who has it. And the Cardinals come up short here today in extra innings by a score of 8-5. 8 runs, 11 hits, no errors for San Francisco. And the Cardinals with 5 runs, 9 hits, and no errors as Steven Matz picks up the loss. Tyler Rogers goes to 1-4. He gets the win out of the bullpen for San Francisco. Save number 18 for Camilo Doval. And the Cardinals are indeed swept by the San Francisco Giants and win just 1 game on this homestand. John Rooney and I will talk about it some more after this.
At Gateway Arch National Park lies the iconic curve that has captured the heart of our city. But have you ever wondered, why is the Gateway Arch in St. Louis? Head below to where all our stories live in our new museum. Begin in 6 themed galleries detailing over 200 years of how St. Louis and our nation came to be. Revel in the sights above and wander below for the stories you didn't know in a free, world-class museum redesigned for all. Visit gatewayarch.com/museum to plan your visit to Gateway Arch National Park and Museum today.
Did you know that Mercy is the official medical provider of the St. Louis Cardinals? And what we do for them, we can do for you. Don't let sports-related pain ruin your game. Talk with a Mercy Sports Medicine Pro. We'll help you get back in the game and help you take your performance to the next level. Find your Mercy Pro at mercy.net/GoCards. That's mercy.net/GoCards. At Mercy, your life is our life's work.
Do you want to work for one of St. Louis's fastest growing public companies? Global digital consulting leader and proud Cardinal partner Proficient is ambitious and dynamic, and they're hiring software developers, business analysts, and project managers. There's no better time than right now to improve the launch angle of your success. Hit a career home run and join Proficient's winning team, a hometown hero well on its way to becoming a global giant. Proficient challenges, champions, and celebrates its people. Check out their openings today at proficient.com/careers.
A caring man took a walk. He saw people suffering. Anxiety ran high. Hatred rose. I'll prepare a feast and bring them together, he thought. But some refused to join him. He was heartbroken because he wanted everyone to be filled. Not with food and wine, but with compassion.
Jesus welcomed all to the table. Visit HeGetsUs.com to learn more.
One swing of the bat turned the good day for the Cardinals into another bad one. Two-run homer by Mike Yastrzemski with 2 outs in the 9th inning, down to his last strike. Tied the game at 5, and then 3 runs in the top of the 10th inning put the Giants over the top. An 8-5 final. The Giants have won 11 of their last 13 road games. They've won 4 in a row overall. The Cardinals have dropped to 27-42, losing the last 5. They are 2-4 in extra innings now, and the Cardinals have lost 12 of their last 15 games and finished up 1-6 in the season series with the San Francisco Giants. The win to Tyler Rogers. He's 1-4. Steven Matz, the loser, 0-7. Camilo Doval saved his 18th game in 19 opportunities. A 2-hour, 52-minute game. Or excuse me, it says 3:08 up there for the time of the game. So we'll check that out. And 39,165. The attendance at Busch Stadium today. 252 is correct. 2 hours and 52 minutes. And, boy, the game turned on one pitch with the Giants down to their last strike. And the Giants came back to win 8-5. Our play of the game is presented by Marriott St. Louis Grand. Book your Grand Slam Cardinals ticket package today. We'll have that play when we come back.
Safelite Repair, Safelite Replace.
When you have a cracked windshield, who can you trust? Choose the auto glass experts at Safelite. We make it so easy, you can schedule at safelite.com. With our state-of-the-art technology, we can replace your windshield and recalibrate your car's advanced safety system to get you back on the road safely. Schedule now at safelite.com. Go ahead, play that jingle.
Safelite Repair, Safelite Replace.
When the game goes into overtime. But the game goes into overtime. The choice to enjoy is easy. Bud Light, easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Pick up Bud Light at your local convenience store today. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Bud Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Discover a great baseball getaway in historic St. Charles, Missouri, just 20 minutes west of Busch Stadium. St. Charles offers the comfort and value of a smaller town, but with nightlife and attractions that are sure to please. Take in the high-energy excitement at Ameristar or bike the Katy Trail. At a Cardinals game, and it's a weekend you won't soon forget. Discover a great baseball getaway. Discover St. Charles. Book your stay now at discoverstcharles.com.
Produced in cooperation with Visit Missouri.
Hi, it's David Eckstein. I'm teaming up with the Cardinals and Mid-America Transplant to help save lives through organ and tissue donation. For me, this is personal because 5 people in my family received life-saving kidney transplants. As fans, you've always stepped up. Now I'm asking you to do it again. Go to fansforlife.org and register to become a donor. And if you're a healthcare professional who wants to join our life-saving mission, check out midamericatransplant.org for career opportunities.
In the top of the first inning, Jordan Montgomery had plenty of traffic. The first 5 batters got on base, 2 runs scored. Lamont Wade Jr. grounded into a force play, and then a double play by Casey Schmidt. A ground ball, 6-4-3, got Montgomery out of trouble with only 2 runs scoring. The Cardinals in the second inning, they got busy against Anthony DeSclafani. Nolan Arenado singled, extending his hitting streak to 9. 1 out later, a base hit for Dylan Carlson. A single by Paul DeYoung loaded the bases. But Andrew Kisner couldn't pick up an RBI. He struck out. And with 2 outs, Tommy Edman hit a 2-2 pitch into the right field seats, a grand slam to give the Cardinals a 4-2 lead. Then Nolan Gorman walked in the 3rd inning. He advanced on a wild pitch and scored on a single by Jordan Walker to make it 5-2 Cardinals. Then it was a chance for a run in the 7th inning that came through against Jordan Montgomery after a 1-out double by David Villar. Mike Yastrzemski came through with a single, driving in a run to help the Giants inch closer. And then the Cardinals had the Giants down to their last out, their last strike, and it was Mike Yastrzemski at the plate again in the 9th inning with Wade on base. What turned out to be the play of the game presented by Marriott St. Louis Grand. With 2 outs, a 2-2 count. The pitch to Yastrzemski, a swing, and a long fly ball to right field. That ties the game. A 2-run homer for Mike Yastrzemski, his 8th home run of the year, and the Giants have come all the way back to tie it with 2 outs in the 9th. And then against Steven Matz, 3 runs in the 10th inning, and that stood up to make Tyler Rogers a winner, 1-4. A save for Camilo Doval, his 18th of the year, as the Giants beat the Cardinals 8-5. Matz 0-7 took the loss. 2 hours, 52 minutes, our time of the game. An attendance of 39,165. And the Cardinals dropped to 27-42. They have lost 5 in a row, embarking on a long road trip that will take them to Citi Field in New York for 3, and then to Washington for 3, before going to London for a 2-game series against the Chicago Cubs coming up a week from Saturday and Sunday, a week from Saturday, Sunday in London against Chicago, and then back home to play Houston and the Yankees after that. But a rough loss again for the Cardinals, who in this series lost 4-3 on Monday, 11-3 last night, and in 10 innings today, the Giants won by 3, 8-5. Now thanks to our producer-engineer Jim Jackson, to Tyler Rosen in the St. Louis studio. Matt Pauley is coming up with a post-game show, and Ethan Hannaford is our in-booth assistant here at the ballpark. Now for Ricky Horton, Mike Claiborne, I'm John Rooney. Another rough one for the Cardinals today. They were a strike away from a win and ended up losing in 10 innings, 8-5 to the Giants. And so long from Busch Stadium.
St. Louis Cardinals baseball has been brought to you by Budweiser, official beer sponsor of Major League Baseball. Crack open the game with Budweiser and enjoy unrivaled flavor and refreshment. By your quality Ford dealers, the official vehicles of the St. Louis Cardinals. By Schnucks. Earn 2% back on every purchase with the Schnucks Rewards app. By Shelter Insurance. Find an agent near you at shelterinsurance.com to help you choose the coverage that works for your auto, home, and life insurance. By Explore St. Louis. Learn all about the great things to do in St. Louis. Visit exploreStLouis.com. By Central Bank, the hometown bank of the St. Louis Cardinals. By the Painting and Decorating Foundation. And by Sonic Drive-In. Sonic. This is the St. Louis Cardinals Radio Network, powered by Graybar.
The Cardinals were 1 strike away from coming up with what would have been a really, really good win going into an off day and a long road trip. Instead, the bullpen can't hold on. The Giants tie it up in the 9th. They score 3 in the 10th, and the Cardinals get swept by the Giants at home, and they lose today by an 8-5 score as we welcome you in to the Mercy Cardinals postgame show here on the Cardinals Radio Network. My name is Matt Pauley. We've got a fair amount to get to here over the course of the program. We'll go back through the game with the highlights. We'll hear from Cardinals manager Oliver Marmol, and we'll try to figure out what in the world just happened, because the Cardinals seemingly had this game in hand, and they have had a hard time. They've had a very hard time this year locking down close and late games. In fact, with the blown save today, They are now 15 of 30 in save opportunities this year. They have as many blown saves as they have converted saves. They lose this one today by an 8-5 score. We're going back through it with the highlights. We'll do that next. This is the Mercy Cardinals postgame show on the Cardinals Radio Network, powered by Gray Bar.
Cardinals Kids Clinic registration is now open. It's time to register your son or daughter, ages 7 to 13, for an unforgettable experience. Cardinals Kids Clinics will be taking place throughout Redbird Nation this summer. Participants will receive small group instruction on throwing, hitting, fielding, and base running from Cardinals alumni and take home a Cardinals ticket voucher, t-shirt, player autographs, and more. Scheduled special guests include Brendan Donovan and Ryan Helsley. Don't wait. Register now at cardinals.com/clinics.
At Simply Safe, we design award-winning security to protect every inch of your home. It's easy to set up yourself, and now there's an even easier option. Have an expert do it for you with Simply Safe Pro Install. Always protecting, never a contract. 2 easy installation options, backed by 24/7 professional monitoring for less than $1 a day. Get 20% off any new system with Fast Protect monitoring at simplysafe.com/radio. There's no safe like Simply Safe.
Hey, Illini fans, it's Mike Greenberg. Catch Juan Tay and Derek
When you have a cracked windshield, who can you trust? Choose the Auto Glass experts at Safelite. We make it so easy, you can schedule at Safelite.com. With our state-of-the-art technology, we can replace your windshield and recalibrate your car's advanced safety system to get you back on the road safely. Schedule now at Safelite.com. Go ahead, play that jingle.
Safelite Repair, Safelite Replace.
When the game goes into overtime. But the game goes into overtime. The choice to enjoy is easy. Bud Light, easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Pick up Bud Light at your local convenience store today. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Bud Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Discover a great baseball getaway in historic St. Charles, Missouri. Just 20 minutes west of Busch Stadium, St. Charles offers the comfort and value of a smaller town, but with nightlife and attractions that are sure to please. Take in the high-energy excitement at Ameristar, or bike the Katy Trail. At a Cardinals game, and it's a weekend you won't soon forget. Discover a great baseball getaway. Discover St. Charles. Book your stay now at discoverstcharles.com.
Produced in cooperation with Visit Missouri.
Hi, it's David Eckstein. I'm teaming up with the Cardinals and Mid-America Transplant to help save lives through organ and tissue donation. For me, this is personal because 5 people in my family received life-saving kidney transplants. As fans, you've always stepped up. Now I'm asking you to do it again. Go to fansforlife.org and register to become a donor. And if you're a healthcare professional who wants to join our life-saving mission, check out midamericatransplant.org for career opportunities.
A 10-inning, 8-5 loss for the Cardinals today. They get swept by the Giants. We continue on with the Mercy Cardinals post-game show here on the Cardinals Radio Network. Towing the rubber for San Francisco. The Giants had a solid first inning. Things did not look good at the beginning. Austin Slater is able to beat out a base hit, singling to deep shortstop. And then Luis Matos in his first Major League plate appearance gets a base hit, so runners on at first and second, and it brings up Thairo Estrada.
Montgomery's pitch is swung on, and that is hit deep.
Ignition sequence start. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Liftoff.
Check. I literally just create Matt.
Well, they're up.
I'm going to go off here.
They don't have a great quarterback.
I got to take a break. I'm getting in trouble.
To win the Big Ten, you first got to win the West.
Bad Bunny.
Have you heard his name in a while? No. Has it bothered you?
Lamont Wade Jr. then grounds into a fielder's choice where Estrada is out at home. So that's the first out of the inning. They get it without a run scoring, and that brings up Casey Schmidt.
From the stretch, the 2-1 pitch here for Casey Schmidt. Ground ball to the shortstop. To second out. On to first. That's a double play. The Cardinals get out of big-time trouble with Montgomery giving up 2 runs, and the Cardinals are coming to bat.
Yep, so they could have been much worse as the Giants end up leaving 2 on, a double play to finish off the inning. That ends up being big, the fact that Jordan Montgomery was able to work back into it and give up just the 2 runs. That gives the Cardinals the opportunity to get back into this game, and Montgomery was really good from that point forward. In fact, in the next inning, in the second, he would strike out David Villar. He would get Mike Yastrzemski struck out, and then that would bring up Austin Slater, who he would also strike out.
The pitch by Monty. A swing and a miss. He struck him out, and sure enough, struck out the side.
Yeah, so really good half inning there from Jordan Montgomery. It just took him a little while to get in there. Cardinals would come back in a big way in their half of the second inning. Nolan Arenado leads the inning off with a base hit, and then with 1 out, Dylan Carlson singles. Runners on at first and second for Paul DeJong, who gets a base hit himself, so that loads the bases for Andrew Knizner. Knizner strikes out swinging, but then Tommy Edman comes through in a big way.
The Cardinals need a big hit here from Tommy Edman. On 2-2, the pitch. Edman swings and it's a drive. Deep right field. Back to the wall. It's a grand slam. Home run number 7 for Tommy Edman. Driving in are Arenado, Carlson, and Paul DeJong, and the Cardinals lead 4-2 with 2 outs in the second inning.
Just like that, they take a 2-run deficit and turn it into a 2-run lead. They lead 4-2. They add to it in the third inning. Nolan Gorman leads the inning off with a walk, moves to second on a wild pitch, and then with 1 out, Jordan Walker comes through.
When there's a runner on base, the next pitch is grounded up the middle, and that's a base hit for Walker. Gorman rounds third. He's headed home, and he's going to score. Jordan Walker comes through with an RBI hit to center. 8-game hitting streak for him, and that helps the Cardinals' risk.
1 run on 2 hits. They leave a couple in the third inning, and they have a 5-2 lead, and that would be it for Anthony DeSclafani as Jacob Junis would come in to pitch the 4th inning for the Giants, and he would put up a 0. In the top of the 5th inning, Jordan Montgomery, continuing to pitch well, would get a couple outs, and he faces off against Austin Slater.
Montgomery with the kick and the pitch. Strike 3 call. Halfway through the game, the Cardinals lead the Giants 5-2.
Giants would get a hit and a couple base runners in the 6th inning, but nothing more. We go to the 7th. Cardinals continue to lead by a 5-2 score. In the 7th, Casey Schmidt leads the inning off by striking out, but then a David Villar double brings up Mike Yastrzemski.
2-2 is the count. Yastrzemski at the plate. And there's a hard hit ball to left field, and Walker is not going to be able to make that play. It's a single to left. A run's going to score, and the Giants tack on a run. It's now 5-3 St. Louis.
That ends up being the final at-bat of the day for pitcher Jordan Montgomery, final batter that he would face as he is lifted for Jordan Hicks. And that move is our A. Mrazek move of the game. A. Mrazek is the official mover of the St. Louis Cardinals as Jordan Hicks was pretty good today. He would get out of the 7th inning without any more runs scoring, and then he would come back out for the 8th inning and would have a 1-2-3 frame, all finishing off against Patrick Bailey.
1-2 on left-handed batting, Patrick Bailey. He's 2 out of 3 with an RBI single back in the 1st inning. Bailey swings and strikes out. We head to the bottom of the 8th. The Cardinals are leading the Giants 5-3.
Yeah, so that's a nice day for Jordan Hicks. He had been a little bit, he'd been so good, and then here over the last couple outings, he had not been quite as good. He looked pretty good today, and they were able to hand a 5-3 lead to Giovanni Gallegos in the 9th inning. The first batter he faces, Lamont Wade Jr., he walks them. Those leadoff walks, they come back to get you oh so often. Blake Sable comes up as a pinch hitter. He strikes out, and then Brandon Crawford comes up as a pinch hitter as well. He ends up flying out. So 2 outs in the inning. Wade goes to second on defensive indifference. Gallegos gets 2 strikes, facing off against Mike Yastrzemski. It is a 2-2 count. The Cardinals, they are one strike away from winning this game in fairly impressive fashion. Instead, this happens.
With 2 outs, a 2-2 count. The pitch to Yastrzemski, a swing and a long fly ball to right field. That ties the game. A 2-run homer for Mike Yastrzemski, his 8th home run of the year, and the Giants have come all the way back to tie it with 2 outs in the 9th. That's twice the Giants have taken a win away from the Cardinals in the 9th inning. One was a victory, a game-ending home run by Sable in San Francisco, and this is a game tire. Not that the Cardinals can't win this one, but they were a strike away from putting this game away in the 9th.
Yeah, they were, but instead it's tied up 5-5. Cardinals go down relatively quietly in the bottom of the 9th inning, so to extra innings we go. New pitcher into the game for the Cardinals is Steven Matz. Mike Yastrzemski starts the inning as the extra runner at second base. Michael Conforto leads the inning off by striking out, so that's a good start, but then Thairo Estrada does this.
Matt's trying to avoid the walk here, facing Estrada. A 3-2 pitch. A changeup is hit into center field for a base hit. Charging hard is the Cardinals center fielder, Tommy Edman, and he comes up throwing and hits the cutoff man, but they are not going to get Yastrzemski, who scores from second on the base hit by Estrada, and the Giants with a 6-5 lead.
Estrada then gets to second by stealing second base with Wilmer Flores at the plate.
Next pitch is hammered to left field. That's a hit for Flores. Charging is Walker. We're going to have a play at the plate, and the throw is wide, hits the runner, and the Giants add another run.
They weren't done yet after a Patrick Bailey strikeout. Lamont Wade Jr. at the plate.
The 1-0 pitch is a breaking ball. That's hit into right field for a hit. Charging hard is Dylan Carlson. He's up with it. The throw to the plate is offline, and safe at the plate is Wilmer Flores, and the Giants get another base hit, scoring a run here in the 10th inning, and now they lead by 3. It's 8-5.
3 runs on 3 hits in the top of the 10th inning, so the Cardinals need 3 to tie it in the bottom of the inning or 4 to win. Camilo Duvall comes on to pitch for San Francisco. Brendan Donovan, the runner at second. Paul Goldschmidt strikes out after a Nolan Gorman walk. Nolan Arenado strikes out, and it brings up Jordan Walker as the final hope for the Cardinals.
And the pitch to Walker is swung on and hit hard to right field, but it's right to the right fielder, Conforto, who has it. And the Cardinals come up short here today in extra innings by a score of 8-5.
With the win, the Giants go to 36-32. The Cardinals drop to a season worst 27-42. Winning totals for San Francisco: 8 runs, 11 hits, no errors. They leave 6. For the Cardinals, 5 runs, 9 hits, no errors. They leave 7. The winning pitcher is Tyler Rogers. He goes to 1-4. The loss to Steven Matz. He's 0-7. Camilo Duvall gets the save. It is his 18th of the year. Home runs: Yastrzemski his 8th. Edman his 7th. The game lasting 2 hours and 52 minutes, played in front of a crowd of 39,165 folks. Cardinals lose to the Giants 8-5. When we return, we'll get the post-game comments of Cardinals manager Oliver Marmol. That's in just a moment. This is the Mercy Cardinals post-game show on the Cardinals Radio Network, powered by Graybar.
A swing, and there's a drive hit well to right field. It's a goner! A goner for Matt Holliday!
Hey everyone, it's Matt Holliday, and for over 10 years, Homers for Health has made an impact on Cardinal Glennon patients and services that help those in need. Every time a Cardinal hits a home run, the crowd goes wild. I'm here to tell you that the same energy can be felt in the hospital when donations are made. It truly is a game changer. Please make your pledge for patients today at homersforhealth.org, presented by Heartland Coca-Cola and Chick-fil-A. Your support makes a difference.
At Discount Tire, we know your time is valuable. Get 30% shorter average wait time when you buy and book online at discounttire.com. Did you know that Discount Tire now free air checker tire inspection, and ask an associate about wiper blades today. And remember, if ever you're not satisfied with one of our tires, please feel free to bring it back. Thank you. Discount Tire.
Let's get you taken care of.
Think of the excitement on that special someone's face when they receive a beautiful floral creation from the Blossom Basket Florist. Flowers are God's creation that express beauty and love. Make that special occasion unforgettable with flowers that will brighten their day. They do flowers for all occasions and deliver in Champaign-Urbana and all the surrounding communities. Visit the Blossom Basket Florist online at blossombasket.com or visit them at 1002 North Cunningham Avenue in Urbana. Think of the excitement on that special someone's face when they receive a beautiful floral creation from the Blossom Basket Florist. Flowers are God's creation that express beauty and love. Make that special occasion unforgettable with flowers that will brighten their day. They do flowers for all occasions and deliver in Champaign-Urbana and all the surrounding communities. Visit the Blossom Basket Florist online at blossombasket.com or visit them at 1002 North Cunningham Avenue in Urbana.
Hi, I'm Tyler Weaver, president of Carpet Weavers Flooring and Furniture Gallery. It's time to come home to Carpet Weavers. We don't want you to just like your new floors. We want you to love them. From waterproof floors and carpet to furnitures and design advice, we've got a team of experts on your side. We'll get you the best price and the best quality products. And complete your home with furniture and accessories. Buy it all with free financing too. Come home to Carpet Weavers, where floors, furniture, and family meet.
Pia's opens every morning, daily at 7 a.m. You will find it all at Pia's with live video gaming, sports, food, drinks, and fun. See you at Pia's, West Springfield Avenue in Champaign. Serving food 7 a.m. to 11 p.m. and drinks until 2 a.m. daily. Pia serves up its famous 10-ounce Slugger Burger, along with great wings and so much more. You will find it all at Pia's with live video gaming, sports, food, drinks, and fun. See you at Pia's, West Springfield Avenue in Champaign.
Hey Illini fans, it's Max Kellerman. Catch Lon Tay and Derek Piper weekdays from 4 to 6 right here on ESPN Radio 93.5.
8-5, the Cardinals lose in 10 innings to the Giants today. Welcome back in. It is the Mercy Cardinals postgame show here on the Cardinals Radio Network. Let's name our player of the game. It's sponsored by the Air National Guard, where you can serve your state, serve your nation, and serve your way. We're going to look at Mike Yastrzemski. He hit that big ninth inning home run with 2 strikes against him. The Giants were down to their final strike. Instead, he hits the home run to tie the game up. Eventually, the Giants win it in 10 innings. Yastrzemski overall had a pretty solid day today, going 2 for 4, scoring 2 runs, and then driving in 3. So he is the player of the game, presented by the Air National Guard, where you can serve your state, serve your nation, and serve your way. Cardinals manager Oliver Marmol speaking with the media just a little while ago after the Cardinals suffer a very, very tough loss.
You got to finish that game. That's the reaction. You got to lead, end it.
Where do you take the frustration from that next step?
At some point, you just have to do something about it. You keep getting punched in the face, punch back. You don't score after the third. You have the lead in the ninth. Finish the game.
Does that go into you guys still had a shot at the bats in after innings? This is a big names up. And couldn't get anything done at the top of the order. A lot of strikeouts too in the course of the game.
Sure.
Were you able to address this before you came into talk to us? And if so, what was there to say?
There's nothing to address. At some point, you just get the job done. We've addressed the club enough.
Did you consider keeping Jordan Hicks out there?
No. He did his job. Came in, punched out 3. He did his job. That's why you have Gio. I'm not going to send him back out there and risk Jordan Hicks with an injury. He did his job. I appreciate the question, though. He has, and today he didn't. It's just a reality of it. He's had some hiccups. He's been good for us at times, and he's had some games where they've walked the leadoff guy with the 2-run lead. That makes it tough.
What does a 180 swing of emotions feel like when you're 1 strike away and
We've been there before. It sucks. At some point, you can't get used to losing. You got to do something about it. So you can call it whatever you want, swing of emotions, whatever the case may be. We've been here, and at some point, you got to strap it on and go. And today's unacceptable.
Even though you had 5, was the offensive side the most frustrating part for you today? Other than Tommy's swing, there wasn't a whole lot of action going on. I think that mentioned strikeouts. Did you feel like the approach was okay?
No, I said it earlier. We didn't score after the third. You have to find a way to score more runs against their pen. You get their starter out of there. You got to keep adding on. We didn't do that, and then we handed it right back to them. So there's no excuses here. That can't happen. Yeah.
To explain and address what's going wrong and find solutions when it's a different way of losing every game.
Yeah, that's what makes it tough. We're not losing the same way every day. You try to go clean some things up by addressing outfield play or whatever the case may be, base running, and then you lose in a different area. So I don't think it's a secret. We haven't been scoring the runs that we're capable of scoring as of late. Our rotation has settled in to some degree and given us a better shot than they've done in the past, and we still can't figure out a way to put it all together in the same day. I'm tired of saying that, but that's the reality. So,
How confident are you that this group, as it's composed right now, can get it back correct?
Yeah, it's I'm fairly confident. Even looking at that group as I walked up here to meet with you guys, they're hurting. They know what they're capable of, and it's just not showing. So you can point wherever you want, but it's got to turn. Yeah, Monty did well. Again, gave us a shot, and we didn't cash in for him. Sinker was good. Curveball was good. Got some swing and miss on that pitch. Changeup kept him honest. Used a four-seamer when needed, and the sinker was a big player for him. He continues to pitch well. Collectively, we got to do better.
Cardinals manager Oliver Marmol clearly frustrated, rightfully frustrated. That was a different tone than what we normally hear from him, and I think it was appropriate. He's not happy. Nobody's happy. That's a game you got to win. His words, but I think everybody can essentially agree with that. Cardinals lose to the Giants 8-5. This is the Mercy Cardinals postgame show on the Cardinals Radio Network, powered by Gray Bar.
Strike 3 call. 6 strikeouts for Michaelis.
This is Cardinals pitcher Miles Michaelis calling all Rip Wheeler fans. You won't want to miss Yellowstone Night at Busch Stadium on Thursday, June 29th when we host the Astros. With the purchase of a special theme ticket, fans will take home a Yellowstone-inspired Cardinals bobblehead featuring me in my best cowboy getup. That's Thursday, June 29th, Yellowstone Night at the ballpark. Get your tickets today at cardinals.com/theme.
Take me out to Club Car Wash and then we'll head to the game. Buy me a membership really fast. Unlimited means that I'll keep coming back and we'll root for the Cardinals in cars, trucks, and SUVs. With free towels, vacuums, and detail protected ceramic X3.
Official car wash of the St. Louis Cardinals.
Club Car Wash. Join the club.
Frankie at the gym says, "Do you even lift, bro?" Frankie at the Champaign County Humane Society doesn't care how much you lift. He just wants to lay on the couch with you and watch reruns of The Office. Carol in accounting will probably judge you for heating up your leftovers in the office microwave and stinking up the entire break room. Carol at the Champaign County Humane Society doesn't care what you eat, just as long as you scratch that one spot right under her chin. Carol the cat and Frankie the dog are just a few of the adoptable pets looking for their forever homes at the Champaign County Humane Society. They won't judge you for the food you eat or your workout routine. They just want to shower you with all the love they have to give. As the only open admission animal shelter in our area, the Champaign County Humane Society takes in any animal despite their age or medical condition. Learn more about adopting a pet, volunteering your time, and donating to the cause at cuhumane.org. The Champaign County Humane Society, where your new best friend is waiting.
Imagine you're in the south of France in October when the temperature will be 70. Hi, it's Stevie J, and it's time to travel. Join Larry and Elena Canfer for their off-the-beaten path to the south of France and Italy, September 29th through October 9th. The south of France is noted for its Mediterranean lifestyle and unique artists like Van Gogh, Picasso, and Chagall. They'll go off the beaten path to explore picturesque villages and seaside towns. You'll enjoy delicious meals with the greatest olive oil and wine. Then you'll go east to Milan, the Italian city of design and fashion and Ferraris. Again, the trip leaves from Champaign September 29th and goes through October 9th, non-stop flights both ways. It's the south of France and Milan, Italy with Larry and Elena Canfer. For complete details and to sign up, go to StevieJTravel.com. That's StevieJayTravel.com. Stevie J Travel. Where do you want to go? Hi, it's Stevie J. Start your day with me along with Diane Ducey, weekday mornings 7 to 9 here on ESPN Radio 93.5.
Ignition sequence start. 5, 4, 3.
Just about as tough of a loss as the Cardinals have suffered this year. Unfortunately, some version of those words have come out of my mouth a lot this season, but the Cardinals do lose in 10 innings to the Giants 8-5, get swept in a 3-game series. Scores from around baseball elsewhere in the NL Central. The Brewers, they continue to struggle. They have fallen all the way back to 500 as they lose in Minnesota today by a 4-2 score. Colin Ray made the start for the Brewers, went 5 innings, allowing 4 runs on 5 hits. And then later on this evening, we are going to see the other NL Central teams in action. The Pittsburgh Pirates are currently the first place team in the division. They are in Chicago to take on the Cubs, and then the Reds and Royals continue their series in Kansas City. Across the Cardinals minor league system, AAA Memphis playing a doubleheader against Jacksonville today. It's Jacksonville winning the first game by a 10-2 score. Dakota Hudson made the start for Memphis, did not pitch well. 3 2/3 innings, 9 runs, 6 earned on 8 hits, 1 strikeout, and 3 walks. They're underway with game 2 of that doubleheader. It's also not going well. Bottom of the 6th inning, Jacksonville leads Memphis by an 8-1 score. AA Springfield, they pick up a nice win today to get above 500. They defeat Tulsa 6-2. Later on this evening, High A Peoria plays at Lansing, and Palm Beach at Low A, they are at home against St. Lucie. In our game, the Cardinals lose to the Giants 8-5. This is the Mercy Cardinals postgame show on the Cardinals Radio Network, powered by Gray Bar.
That is the sound of a hit to the gap in left field. That is the sound of the first of 2 runs scoring. And that, over all the other cheering, is Mom. More moments like these happen thanks to Win Reality, a state-of-the-art VR training tool that improves the hitter's timing, pitch selection, and the sweet sound of confidence in the batter's box. We defy reality so you can win reality. Be ready for real at winreality.com.
Hyatt Regency St. Louis, close to everything. 3 blocks from Busch Stadium and right next to the Gateway Arch and its newly revitalized grounds. Book the Hyatt Regency Cardinals package that includes game tickets, overnight accommodations, an exclusive personalized Louisville Slugger bat, and a $25 food and beverage credit per day at the hotel. Swing by Brew House Historical Sports Bar, located in the Hyatt Regency St. Louis, for pregame fare and postgame celebration after every Cardinals game. Book the exclusive Cardinals package at HyattRegencySt.Louis.com.
If you're looking for a pre-owned car, truck, or van, look no further than Sarah Champagne. You know them for their 5 incredible vehicle brands, the BMW, Honda, Subaru, Buick, and GMC. But did you know they also have over 100 used cars, trucks, and vans in stock right now? And at Sarah Champagne, they will take care of you. You can trust them. And prices begin at under $2,000. Stop by Sarah Champagne. They're Burwash and Savoy, or go online, sarahchampagne.com. That's Sarah, SERRA, champagne.com.
A tradition of excellence over 150 years in the making. At Busey Bank, we're committed to building relationships that span generations. Wherever your journey in life leads you, we are with you along the way, creating a legacy for you and your family. Busey Bank, building business, growing wealth since 1868, proud to be the official bank of the Fighting Illini. Member FDIC.
Hi, this is Kirk Lehman, owner of Aftershock Decals and Design.
We are a one-stop shop for your business needs. Whether you're just starting up or already in business, we can help you get your brand out there. We do everything from logo design or redesign, outdoor signage to banners, window and wall graphics, fleet graphics, vehicle wraps, and more. We also provide custom racing wraps and decals. If you need anything I just mentioned, you need to get a quote from me, Kirk Lehman. Just visit us at aftershockdd.com.
Kelsey Furniture in downtown Tuscola sells Tempur-Pedic beds. What's it like?
I'm going to tell you right now, Stevie, that thing is the best thing I've ever slept on in my life. My wife and I both have said we've never had better night's sleep. And the people at Kelsey's were fantastic. Brian is the guy that helped us. You know, as much as I did my research, he has a world of knowledge about beds themselves. Oh, man, it's like sleeping on a cloud, man.
Kelsey Furniture, downtown Tuscola.
Hey, Illini fans, it's Max Kellerman. Catch Lon Tay and Derek Piper weekdays from 4 to 6 right here on ESPN Radio 93.5.
A tough loss for the Cardinals. They lose to the Giants in 10 innings, 8-3. They were a strike away from winning it in the ninth, but they could not convert it, and they end up losing as we do continue on with the Mercy Cardinals post-game show here on the Cardinals Radio Network. The 2023 Scott's Major League Baseball All-Star Ballot is now open. Vote daily at MLB.com/vote to decide who represents your St. Louis Cardinals this summer. Let's take a look at the saves leaderboard. It is brought to you by Missouri Farm Bureau Insurance, and leading the way right now in Major League Baseball is Cleveland's Emmanuel Clase. He's got 20, and then a trio of relief pitchers, Toronto's Jordan Romano, Camilo Doval after his save tonight, and Carlos Estevez of the Angels. They are all sitting with 18 each. That is the saves leaderboard brought to you by Missouri Farm Bureau Insurance. We are Missouri Farm Bureau Insurance, and if you're a Missourian, we're for you. The Cardinals have a day off tomorrow, and then they hit the road. It's going to be an international road trip, New York, Washington, then London. It starts with a series against the Mets this weekend. Miles Michaelis is the scheduled starter in Game 1 Friday night. That's a 6:10 first pitch. That means our coverage is set to begin at 5:15. For the voice of the Cardinals, John Rooney and Rick Horton, along with Mike Claiborne, and also on-site engineer Jim Jackson, and for Tyler Rosen, who took care of us in our St. Louis studio. My name is Matt Pauley, thanking you for being tuned in to the broadcast this afternoon. Cardinals lose to the Giants 8-5. We'll talk to you on Friday night for more Cardinals baseball on the Cardinals Radio Network.
Powers. Remember the death lineup? Who was the guy that was initiating offense? It was Draymond Green, who was playing center, and they went small ball. Again, positionless basketball. So bigs that can initiate offense, that can handle the ball in half court.
Test, Mike. Hello. The filibuster is over. The Cardinals season is over, and we are back on the air.
Nothing more awkward than going on right after a Cardinals postgame with 3 minutes left in the hour.
That was about a 40-minute postgame. Lots to talk about.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't think we solved anything.
What they should do is every loss cuts the postgame down by a minute. And so now you just basically say, Cardinals lose 12-5. See you tomorrow. I mean, that'd be about it now, because that's about where you'd be. They're bad, dude.
Oh, and you're 15 games under 500, and it's June.
Today, I'm not even mad today. Like, everybody was texting me like, are you going to go scorched earth here at the end of this? And I'm like, I honestly feel bad for him today.
Is that what you guys want? If that's what you want, I got you.
Okay. Oh, you're ready to go?
Oh,
well,
I've been there.
Of course, it was a leadoff walk in the inning that, the last inning that they come back and tie the game. But they were up the entire game. Comes down to the last strike. And Yastrzemski, whose dad is the only player ever to hit a grand slam in an all-star game, Carl, who was really good for the Red Sox, Yastrzemski hits a home run to tie it. And I literally was sitting there and I'm like, okay, this is getting weird now. Like, I mean, it's one thing to just find different ways to lose, which I don't know if there is a way out there. Maybe a Grand Slam hasn't beaten him this year, but if you looked close, maybe it has. But after today, I just was like, okay, this is becoming so weird to this point that I don't understand it. I just don't. I don't know how Marmol's keeping a job. I don't understand whether or not he's a problem. He's part of the problem, right? And he's the most solvable problem to get rid of. And then, of course, like there was a great article in Post-Dispatch today about the Cardinals, just ripping the Cardinals. And it was talking about like Tyler O'Neill, how Marmol ripped into Tyler O'Neill early in the year to kind of set the tone. But then Tyler O'Neill, who is the proverbial a week away from rehab, and he's been like this for 2 months, he has become an absolute waste of a player. Lars Nootbaar is still hurt. Dylan's back and hitting the ball well. Jordan Walker's doing okay, a couple hits today. But, I mean, how much longer do you wait around for Tyler O'Neill? I mean, it's the Randy Arozarena issue, right? That as soon as you get rid of Tyler O'Neill, he's going to figure out a way to stay healthy for 3 years and hit 30 home runs a year. You know that's going to happen, right?
It could.
Maybe not.
It could.
Actually, probably not.
The difference is Randy Arozarena played like 20 games for the Cardinals.
Yeah, we didn't even give him
and then
a
he was
chance.
gone.
Right.
O'Neill's had now like 4 or 5 years to solidify himself in that outfield, and he just continues to get hurt.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that one thing just popped up that I was looking at earlier. I was telling you about. Yeah. It was on the Cardinals, so good timing on that one. Yeah, it's just, you're right. I mean, it's just, they didn't even give Arozarena
That was
chance.
a feel-good piece.
I think
there haven't been many of those.
No. We needed that. Hopefully that happens this next week.
Yeah.
I mean, that would be great if it did. So, yeah.
Marmol getting fired?
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. I mean,
100%.
Hey, we're going to talk golf next hour, and
We
you
are.
set us up with a great guest.
I set us up with Spencer Aguiar.
Nice.
He is a golf betting expert, also a daily fantasy expert. So long story short, it's a fancy way of saying he's going to tell us who's going to win the U.S. Open or who to bet on this upcoming, well, as early as tomorrow. You got to get your bets in and spot up for one of the big ones, the major out there in Los Angeles. So he does work for the Action Network, Roto Baller. He, in 2021, won Golf Writer of the Year for Fantasy Sports Association. So
I need to be following him on Twitter.
Yeah, we'll have to. But he was kind enough to accept the invite, and it's been hard. I've wanted to get a guy in the past, whether you're going to the Masters, you're going to one of these big tournaments to come on and talk golf. Well, I found one.
You're the man.
Let's gear up for that. He'll join us at the top of next hour.
That's cool, because I want to ask him. I know with our FanDuel, they give you that $20 if they finish in the top 20, you get your money back, or at least you get bets back, right? Money to bet back. But you called it the last time, the last major, you called the winner. And
I did. No, I can't remember who it was.
I know. Who was it?
John Rahm.
John Rahm. And he ended up winning that thing, so we made out on that thing. So
For sure.
Trevor and I are like, hey, when's Derek giving us his next
I
thing?
gave you a Dinger Tuesday last night, and it was a complete dud, so I apologize.
Well, wasn't that Trevor's fault? Didn't he come out strong with a text early saying, hey?
No, that was me.
Oh, that was you that sent that.
We can pretend it was Trevor.
Yeah, let's pretend it was Trevor. I agree. Yeah, I'm done with the Dinger Tuesday.
It was a big disappointment.
I looked at the box score this morning. I didn't get a chance to watch it or anything, and all I see is the Reds scored 5 in the second, zeros all the way. And then I looked finally at the box score, and no home runs for the Reds.
No.
And then 1 home run. Thankfully,
you get 5 of your 25 back.
Thankfully, our guy whose dad used to play for the Blue Jays or whatever homered.
Oh yeah. Bobby Witt Jr. homered.
Bobby Witt, yeah. Wasn't his dad played for the? Did he have a dad that played? I think he did. It doesn't matter.
Seems like all the players on the Blue Jays have had dads.
Maybe that's what I'm thinking. Yeah, maybe that's what I'm thinking.
Bigios, the Bichettes.
Yeah, I think there was a Witt. I'm gonna Google this. I don't even need.
Where there's a Witt, there's a way. Ellie De La Cruz is a bust. Just putting it out there.
I would not trade for him. I'll put it that way.
Definitely not. Not even for Paul DeJong.
Ernie Witt. He was a professional baseball catcher. That's who I'm thinking of.
Okay.
There you go.
I don't know if we're in much of a baseball mood today. I do have some things to say about the Cardinals.
Okay.
Kyle wrote up a MLB Next Question, which we discussed playing today or going through today. So we can talk some U.S. Open coming up next.
Boom.
Maybe baseball Next Question or just a rant or
I'm ready.
Wherever it goes after that. But short and show due to the Cardinals. Cardinals going into extra innings because they blew a save. Gave up a home run with 2 strikes, 2 outs in the 9th. And
if you've got
gave up 3 more runs. Thank you, Steven Matz, for your contribution.
Well, what has he done?
Hey.
Time for Fox. We need to get to Fox.
All right.
Let's do it, and then we'll come back and talk a little golf.
Let's do it. Stay tuned. It's The Drive.
Neely on a New York City subway.
The Manhattan District Attorney's Office believed that they had enough evidence, videos, and witness testimony to indict him and to charge him on this second-degree manslaughter charge, which in New York means that they believe that Penny recklessly caused the death of Jordan Neely when he put him in that chokehold on that subway train on May 1st.
Fox's Brian Yennis. There's no confirmation yet on the charges in the indictment. Penny has said he was protecting himself and other passengers from Neely, who witnesses say had been threatening riders. A jury in Oregon says Electric Utility Pacific Corp must pay punitive damages for wildfires that destroyed thousands of homes in 2020, killing 9 people. The same jury found the utility liable for the fires 2 days ago, awarding $73 million to 17 homeowners named as plaintiffs. Punitive damages could reach hundreds of millions. Property owners argue Pacific Corp was negligent, failing to shut off power during a windstorm, despite warnings from the state. The company has said it will appeal. The Fed decides 10 rate hikes are enough for now.
For the first time in 15 months, the Federal Reserve is taking a break from raising interest rates, having hiked rates at the fastest clip in 4 decades to combat hot inflation. Fed Chair Jerome Powell.
We decided to leave our policy interest rate unchanged and to continue to reduce our securities holdings.
Rates will hold steady to a range of 5 and 5.25%. Fed members said leaving the federal funds rate unchanged allows them to assess additional information. Though in a surprise move, the Fed signaled that it may raise rates twice more this year, beginning as soon as next month.
Fox's Hillary Barsky. America is listening to Fox News.
Do you have heart failure and often hear,
"Those stomach issues ruined your birthday"?
"You're too tired to play catch, Grandpa."
Sweetie, you haven't touched your tools since the carpal tunnel syndrome diagnosis.
If these seemingly unrelated symptoms sound familiar, talk to your cardiologist and ask about transthyretin amyloid cardiomyopathy, or ATTR-CM, a rare and underdiagnosed disease that gets worse over time. Learn more at connecttoyourheart.com. That's connecttoyourheart.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
The internet can be an all-you-can-eat buffet for identity thieves.
So full.
Too many maiden names.
And social security numbers.
Where'd you find those?
By the password bar. Can't miss them.
LifeLock alerts you to identity threats you could miss by monitoring your credit and bank statements. If your identity is stolen, a dedicated U.S.-based restoration specialist will work to fix it. No one can prevent all identity theft, but everyone can save up to 25% off their first year with promo code NEWS. Go to LifeLock.com.
A former Army private accused of material support to terrorists pleads guilty.
Federal prosecutors say Cole Bridges, now 22 years old, joined the Army in the fall of 2019. And shortly after he was stationed at Fort Stewart, Georgia, he began researching jihadist propaganda and expressed support for ISIS on social media. A year later, he began communicating with an undercover FBI agent whom he thought was an ISIS supporter. The Justice Department says he diagrammed military maneuvers for ISIS and suggested wiring an encampment to blow up in order to kill U.S. troops. He also sent this undercover agent a video of himself in his Army body armor next to an ISIS flag.
Fox's Jessica Rosenthal. Bridges could face decades in prison, scheduled for sentencing in November. Defense officials now say a helicopter crash that injured 22 U.S. service members in Syria happened when the aircraft was landing at a staging base, and 15 service members have now been medically evacuated for injuries. The crash last weekend remains under investigation. The U.S. military has said there was no enemy fire reported at the time. The final film of actress Carrie Fisher, Wonderwell, is finally getting a release date, 7 years after her death.
The actress who passed away in 2016, just 6 weeks after wrapping the film, Fisher leads a cast that includes Rita Ora from the 50 Shades of Grey franchise and Heartstopper's Sebastian Croft. The film follows Violet as she is chosen to be the face of a global fashion brand. She travels to an ancient Tuscan town and wanders into a nearby forest where she meets the mystical Hazel, played by Fisher, who guides her to a mysterious portal to show her what the future holds.
Fox's Michelle Polino. A limited theatrical run is planned with a digital release set for June 23rd. The Dow drops 232 points, pairing heavier losses after the Fed announcement, but the S&P and the Nasdaq finish higher. I'm Lisa Brady, Fox News.
Ignition sequence start. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Liftoff.
Check. I literally just create madness.
Well, they're up.
I'm going to go off here.
They don't have a great quarterback.
I got to take a break. I'm getting in trouble. To win the Big Ten, you first got to win the West.
Bad Bunny.
Have you heard his name in a while?
No.
Has it bothered you?
No. Defensively, they got to come in with some confidence.
Is that even analytics?
I'm in a parking garage. I'm kind of lost.
Terrence Shannon, Matthew Meyer, R.J. Melendez, Coleman Hawkins.
These trophy presentations aren't over. I didn't come here to go 5-7.
I'm so proud of Illinois football right now.
I'm so tired of Joel Embiid.
We're not taking Patrick Corbin.
I want to bet the Bears.
Oh.
You are Reba McEntire's niece.
Roshan Russell.
Coach Bielma.
You no longer salute to yourself.
What?
We got all kinds of things for you here.
There's a lot of glass.
Oh.
Guys, we have breaking news.
Uh-oh.
It's The Drive.
Smack Dogs.
Thunderstruck! Yeah, Thunderstruck!
It's The Drive with Tay and Piper, ESPN Radio 93.5. Derek Piper, Lante, Kyle Tosk.
What a rough first hour there.
Oh,
3
man.
minutes. Thank you, Cardinals.
Put in a lot of work. You can at least thank the Cardinals for one thing, is that we had 40 minutes of show we didn't have to do. Right. Thanks to extra innings. But I will not be thanking them for 15 games under 500 and the fact that I am wearing a Diamondbacks hat. And I'm not sure I'll put on a Cardinals hat for a while until they figure this thing out.
I just noticed that. You've got a Diamondbacks hat and shirt.
I have one of each, yes.
That's almost... I could understand one.
Yeah.
Now I'm starting to wonder.
Okay.
And Kyle, by the way, wore like a purple shirt in today.
Yeah.
Did I miss the memo about we're all about the Diamondbacks today? I guess I did.
You can be all about anything but the Cardinals. Let's be all about golf. We got a big tournament coming up, one of the majors, U.S. Open, coming up starting tomorrow, and we'll turn to an expert. We talked a little bit yesterday about our initial leans and some of the picks that maybe you could do with a FanDuel promo and whatnot. Let's actually get somebody who really knows their stuff on the line. So Tapman's Towing phone line, we're going to go to Spencer Aguiar, pro sports bettor. He also writes for a variety of different places, Action Network, Roto Baller, and co-hosts a podcast, Better Golf Pod. Spencer, thanks for joining us today. How you doing?
Guys, I'm doing great. It's a pleasure to do this show with you. And, you know, if baseball's struggling with the Cardinals, I think golf might be a nice little segue here for a little bit.
Let's go.
Sounds great to me. Sounds great to me. So we go out to L.A., and this is a course that is pretty unfamiliar in terms of if you're trying to look up course history and who's done well here in the past, you can kind of throw that out the window. So let's start there, Spencer. What are you expecting at is it the LA Country Club out there? What do you think in terms of the way this course will play, and how are you trying to project that in comparison to maybe some past U.S. Opens? Is that even possible?
I do think it's possible, and, you know, it's one of those things that, like, I don't know how much you guys know about me, but I'm a very data-driven, analytical type of approach with all the gambling bets that I put in, and, you know, like, there's zero long-term data to try to decipher from this week. It's funny because you kind of mentioned it yourself right now. It probably isn't as jarring here since U.S. Open venues do always play somewhat similarly between seasons. those numbers can be extrapolated out. And, like, I'm talking about fast conditions of the course, firm conditions of the course, challenging courses. You kind of get that same major championship appeal every single time around at these U.S. Opens here. That's something to keep in mind if you're trying to run numbers, or you're trying to play sets, or you're playing, EFS contests out there. There's a lot that's going to go into it with that, but the course is very unique in the characteristics of the track that are going to be pronounced throughout. So when you look at this venue, and I've watched a lot of flyover videos, like that's the best way that we can try to get some of the statistical data that I think you can get here. We have a wide open venue off the tee. There are some holes that possess 70 or 80 yards of width on the fairways. That typically points many in this direction of what I would call a bomb and gouge mentality. That's essentially golfers that are going to take their driver and try to hit it as far as they can.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's a difference here, though. That is not necessarily how I'm doing this course. I think it's a second shot venue. It's speedy near these greens. You're going to need iron control. You're going to need short game creativity if you want to find opportunities. I would guess that the winning score probably ends up in that 4, 5, 6, 7 under par sort of range. There used to be years ago where the USGA would try to embarrass the players and put them over par. I don't necessarily think we're going to get that anymore, but there are certain courses out there, like when I ran a model and I tried to put some of my data into the mix there when I made a course-specific build. I do think there's courses that you can look at. Augusta National, which is obviously the host of the Masters. I think you have that wide-open field there where you have this sloping lies and the uneven nature there, but it's going to take a 5-tool player if you want to find success. So there's a lot of guys in this field that fit that mold. It's just trying to figure out which one is the one that's going to win.
Yeah, and the thing I love about the Open, they have wide fairways here, but if you get into that rough, I mean, it is just like, all right, if you want to go ahead and try to hit one 340, but if you land a foot into that rough, good luck finding it, number one, and number two, hitting it. But so from what you're saying, I mean, a guy like that's creative, kind of guy like a Jordan Spieth, let's say, who I feel like is back to completely healthy now. Is he a kind of guy like in that model that you like here? Not a guy that's maybe going to punish a ball off the tee, but when it comes to second shots or even creativity around a green, I feel like Jordan Spieth, maybe a Colin Morikawa. I mean, I feel like guys like that are somebody that maybe we should take a look at.
Yeah, there were two players for me underneath that creativity lens that I was looking at that took massive jumps in my model. Obviously, when you talk about creativity, Jordan Spieth is always the king of that answer. He's the player that can get himself out of trouble no matter where he puts his ball. I think for me, and I decided to kind of take that same mentality and pivot in a different way. I took a golfer that went to live in Cameron Smith, and I thought it was a very intriguing bet in the 30-1 range where you can find him. Like, obviously, it's a very similar answer that you just mentioned for Jordan Spieth, but it's oftentimes these venues, and like I keep mentioning Augusta, St. Andrews for the Open Championship, Kapalua, which is where the Tournament of Champions are held. Like, that's where Spieth and Cameron Smith have consistently found that high-end success that they can bring to the table. So, it's always interesting in these tournaments now with everything that's going on between the PGA Tour and LIV of what's going to happen on the odds board. Like, at the Masters, nobody wanted to bet them. At the PGA Championship, everybody wanted to bet them, obviously, after they got across the finish line. And now we're in this spot here where there's so much chaos and mayhem taking place that you have some people that are in, some people that are out. It's kind of like a pick-your-poison position with me. But if I was to bet a LIV golfer, I think Cameron Smith is the intriguing one for me this week.
You just made a guy happy as can be.
I love that you went there, Spencer, because Cam Smith's my guy. Top 10 at the PGA. Wasn't as good at the Masters before then, but his form has changed. For those that it's been hard to follow LIV, at least for the casual golf fan, if you're just sitting in your house on a Sunday and flipping on CBS. What have you seen from him? I'm sure you've paid close attention. His LIV form, and then you combine that with the PGA Championship that makes you like him this weekend.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of it comes down to the creativity, and it comes down to the strokes gained total that I do. So I always reproject my model, and I have a very intense database that I pull from every single week. And it's hard to find statistics from LIV, so you kind of have to pick and choose your sources of where you're pulling from. But one of the categories that I ran, and I have 7 that were highly influential for me, one of them is weighted strokes gained total. So that's going to take the entire encompassing nature of strokes gained off the tee, strokes gained approach, strokes gained around the green, and then strokes gained putting here. And a lot of ways when you run those numbers, like because you have the wide open fairways, all of a sudden Cameron Smith propels himself in my model for total driving and stroke gain off the tee. The weighted approach numbers, when I ran a course-specific fit here for this venue, all of a sudden he cracks the top 15 of my model there. He's good on hard courses. We know he's a magician around the green. And then the putter is one of the most dangerous qualities that he has through his game. So second in my model in weighted strokes gain total there, which is a much greater improvement over where my baseline total is for him. So I think Cameron Smith is a very dangerous name that can take down this title this week.
Spencer Aguiar is our guest, co-host the Better Golf Pod, Action Network, Roto Ballers, also where you can find his stuff. You can follow him on Twitter at @TeeOffSports. I do want to ask you, as we push along further, who else you're really targeting in this. But while we're talking about quote-unquote my guys, I got to ask you, Cam Smith's kind of my guy now. Victor Hovland, me and him were boys before. Then he just got a little too erratic. But now, I mean, he's had a heck of a year. Top 10 at the Masters, top 10 at the PGA, the Players. What's changed for Hovland this year, and how much would you buy him going into the U.S. Open?
I would consider him very massively here. I think he's a player that has turned his game around in all the areas that he needed. We know that his woes have always historically come from his around-the-green game, and there's problems that he can find out here. But I think one of the biggest hidden commodities that people don't realize necessarily is because of the runoff and the slopes that we have on this venue, and we've seen this from him recently, he's able to putt his ball from off the surface in a lot of these spots. It doesn't mean that he might not find the rough and he's going to have to scramble there. There's sand traps that can find issues for him. But his ability to putt from off the surface is one of those really big intangibles that kind of propelled him in my model of how I ran it. So I'll go back to the 7 categories that I was talking about here. There's 7 categories I ran across the board on this. There were 2 players in this field that graded inside the top 25 for each one of those statistics. One of those names is Victor Hovland, who is just skyrocketing up the list at this point. The other one is Tyrrell Hatton, who has really turned it around in 2023 also and has become a legitimate top 10, 15-ish player at this point. So, I think that's kind of like the range I'm going to be looking at this week, in that 20 to 50 to 1 sort of range. You obviously look at a guy like Scotty Scheffler at the very top.
Right.
Scheffler is such an intriguing candidate to consider here because he is putting together, and this is not hyperbole here, like I don't make outrageous statements like this just to say it, like he's putting together a Tiger Woods-esque sort of year.
Yeah.
He has just not been able to make a putt.
Right.
And at some point, if he can just be neutral with the putter, I legitimately believe he can run himself into winning like the last 2 majors of this year. It just comes down to, do you really want to bet him at 6 to 1 to try to take on that risk? I decided to go other ways with it, but like it's as close as I've ever come to the top of just calling this a day and saying, Scotty Scheffler is my bet. I will have no more outright card, and that's how I'm going to move forward with it. But I decided to do it a little bit differently.
I like it. I like that you're going the other way because, I don't get me wrong, I want to win money when I wager, but I like having fun with it, and I like the risk of taking someone with a kind of a long shot, if you will. And I want to go in that direction. Like, obviously, we joked the other day because Phil Mickelson, a couple of years ago when he won that major, won me some money after I'd placed a $1 bet on him. So I'm like, well, I got to do it again. So you $5 to win you 1,055, but let's be honest, it's not going to happen. So when you look at odds and when maybe some people like that long odd, maybe taking that one chance, maybe they put most of their money on some of the favorites and they're like, hey, I got $10, $20 or whatever to just go long odd. Where do you kind of stop in terms of saying, all right, after, I don't know, I'm looking here, like after Patrick Reed at plus 550, I'm not going anywhere further down. Is there a spot that you generally say that's just too much?
It's player specific with it. Like,
okay.
Obviously, if there's a name in my model that is tracking higher than they should be on it, I'd be willing to consider it. Like, for me, the answer this week would probably be I am not going to go lower than that Wyndham Clark, Joaquin Neiman sort of range.
Yep.
You can shop around and find them at different prices. There's numbers out there that are, in the hundreds if you really can find the best price on them. But anywhere in that 80s there is probably as far as I'm going to push it. And as we're on the topic right now, Wyndham Clark is one of those golfers that probably does have legitimate win equity in this tournament. it's interesting because I don't believe markets have necessarily caught up to him on the bigger stage yet. Like, we've gotten a few events recently where his outright price absolutely plummeted. I was telling people that there's been too big of a reverse movement at this point, but all of a sudden now we have a major championship and he's propelled himself back up the board into this 100-to-1 range. I don't know if he's necessarily ready to win a major. Like, a lot of times these sort of bets end up being better as top 10, a top 10 wager, a top 20 wager with it. But I don't know, like, when I ran my models for a guy who's 100-to-1 here, Wyndham Clark was a fringe top 18 win equity choice for me. And while that might not sound very good, we're still talking about a guy who's 100-to-1 in a field of 156 players that is not being priced as such.
Now, it's funny, Spencer, you would laugh at me like everybody else does that bets. I love parlays. And Piper, back in the PGA Championship, got me onto the maybe parlay 4 guys finish top 20 or so. Do you like doing that? Is that something that you would recommend to people to say, well, we know Scheffler's good. We know, I mean, you could almost look at 3 or 4 of these guys to think that surely they're top 20, right? And you could parlay that. Of course, always one of them finishes outside. But do you like going that range?
If I say no, am I allowed back on the show again?
Yes, absolutely.
It's not something for me. Like, I think I take a very, like I said, methodical approach with the way I build my cards. And for me, it's going to be built through the placement market, just individual placement bets with it, through the head-to-head bets. These outrights are a lot of fun to talk about, and everybody wants to say that they hit the 100-to-1 winner or whoever the name ends up being. But if you really are trying to build a bankroll out there, you need to be stuck in these markets like the matchups where you can take one player versus one player. You can, like, my second bread and butter, I would say my bread and butter are head-to-heads, whether that's in tournament or pre-tournament. But my second bread and butter would be these placement bets, top 40 bets. Like, that's just a safer narrative to try to play through. So I don't like when you all of a sudden start lowering your win equity when you start making bets. And that's what parlays do, is you have to have so many things hit at the same time to make it go. And I mean, I think that's a reason why, like, I'm from Las Vegas. There's a reason why my entire city is built around hotels and casinos.
Well said.
That's a great call. Spencer, you mentioned that sweet spot kind of there, the 20 to 50 to run 1 range. You mentioned Cam Smith. Victor Hovland is somebody to maybe take a look at. Anybody else in that range that you like or want to take a shot on, or maybe even to play as a top 10, as maybe a safer play to build some bankroll?
I think if we're talking about winning this event very quickly, like Max Homa, Carol Hatton, Victor Hovland, like, I've called them that, like, they're like my Triple H pedigree combination that I'm putting together with 3 H's there. Homa's number 1 in my model in recalculated strokes gained total. Hovland's number 1 out of stick rough. I talked about Hatton being one of only 2 players that's inside the top 25 of all 7 statistical categories I ran. I do think if you're trying to play this lower, though, and find some value on this board, maybe as a top 40, that's more of where I try to go with things.
Mm-hmm.
I thought Andrew Putnam as a top 40 at plus 225 was very intriguing. I had a proper price on him at plus 150. So there's 65 points of value there. That doesn't necessarily mean that the bet is going to win. You're still an underdog to get it through. But for what he lacks from a win equity sense, there's a lot of safety in my model. He's 25th overall for me for safety. The scrambling numbers give him that significant perk that allows him to make, back-to-back U.S. Open cuts. He had a top 5 in his last start at the Memorial. That Memorial tournament is another course that has those really quick, speedy greens. So if Putnam's distance, which he has a lack of distance, can find the prerequisite that it needs to kind of land where it does, I think he's kind of one of those golfers that you can look for in that top 30, top 40 range. And then just to throw one more name out there, if you want to push it up the board a little bit into a top 20, I did think Mito Pereira plus 280 had some value. That's another live golfer that has been priced out of the market a little bit. And then Russell Henley plus 333 for a top 20 was another name. But like at a certain point, the upside of a lot of these golfers does hit a wall.
Great stuff. One more for you, Spencer. You mentioned the matchups. Is there anybody that you're fading, like in terms of you see this guy versus some of the others that you've highlighted as guys you like? That's an automatic, all right, I'll be on Cam Smith versus this guy. Or is there someone that is maybe thought of to be a top-level golfer or maybe just an automatic fade for you based on your model or just situation?
Yeah, one of the things that I do is I always try to find candidates to fade rather than players I want to back. It obviously helps if I can find a golfer that I also want to take on in these spots. But I can give a handful of names on both ends of the spectrum here for people to consider. Like, if I'm trying to find players I want to back, I think Andrew Putnam, Russell Henley, Denny McCarthy, Mito Pereira, Wyndham Clark, Cameron Smith, those are a lot of names that I've already talked about. Golfers that I would be lower on, Taylor Moore, Sergio Garcia always seems to get a little bit overpriced in these major championships. Like, my model doesn't believe he's what he used to be. Min-Woo Lee, Dustin Johnson kind of has that same sentiment that I just mentioned with Sergio Garcia. I'm typically lower on Colin Morikawa, but, I have a round one matchup that I just wrote up for Action Network a second ago. It's Denny McCarthy over Adam Hadwin. So it's things like that where I'm going to be trying to find the majority of my value, to where I'm just taking on players that I either wanted to fade from an in-tournament sense or a pre-tournament sense if we're doing it over the course of a whole matchup, but it always comes down to value at the end of the day.
Awesome stuff.
Great
Spencer
stuff.
Aguiar, senior PGA analyst for Rotoballer, co-host of the Better Golf Pod, contributor for Action Network. We really appreciate the insight. Best of luck with all your bets this weekend. We'll be taking your advice, and we'll be riding along with you, and maybe we can catch up with you down the road at another tournament, but
Awesome.
really appreciate the time, man.
I'd love that. Thank you very much for having me on today.
Thanks, Spencer.
Good stuff, man. That's awesome. Man, he's got me like, there's a couple of different guys now that that's awesome that he loves Cam Smith. There's about 4 guys that I'm trying to figure out on that $20 safe bet. Because I want somebody that I know can legitimately win it. But I also want kind of that sure top 20 to get my money back, right? And Cam Smith, man, maybe I need to ride the thoughts that you have on him, and then he just said the same thing. Maybe that's the guy?
Could be. We really liked Morikawa.
I did.
Yesterday. I read today that he exited the fold Sunday at Memorial with back spasms and withdrew. I didn't know that until today.
Yeah, that
was 2
worries
weeks
me.
ago.
Okay.
He says he's fine. It worries me a little bit. It might not be as safe as maybe we originally thought in terms of the top 20 payback or get your money back, whatever.
Because he's the kind of guy that can really do some damage on this kind of course, right? And it's not even with the U.S. Open, as a lot of you know that watch golf and follow golf, it's not about doing damage. It's about not creating damage. And a guy like Morikawa is pretty solid with the iron game. He's solid on the green and around the green. He can be pretty creative, kind of like Jordan Spieth. So you kind of want that. Like, a guy like Brooks Koepka, don't get me wrong, is on fire. He's a guy that can go out and eagle and birdie and be 3 under, and then all of a sudden push one into the right, into the rough, and now you're looking at a double bogey. And, that stuff can just bite you so bad at a U.S. Open to where maybe I'm wrong every year, but I like to go with more of the guy that can handle the irons, short irons, approach shots. Like Spencer said, that second shot is going to be so important to where, 330 down, don't get me wrong, 330 is wonderful, but maybe you go 310, 315 and have that shot to the green where you're in the fairway. Wouldn't it be nice to just say, well, you'd only go 315? Yeah, that'd be wonderful. But you get what I'm saying. I mean, some of these guys go 340 or whatever, and it's like, that's great, but if that last little bounce is into the rough, well, then guess what? Good luck, because you're having a hard time in terms of forwarding that ball very far, especially on a lot of these holes. And I think the rough at the LA Country Club is going to be really tough. The other thing is I don't think a lot of these golfers know much about this course. Like you alluded to begin the interview, this is kind of a newer course, and I think that's going to be interesting. I think that's awesome. I mean, we all love Augusta, don't get me wrong, but these guys could play Augusta with their eyes closed now in terms of knowing exactly. I mean, they could probably lay there the night before picturing what they're going to do on every hole. That's not the case here, maybe. So it's going to be interesting in terms of leading up, like the last few days were leading up to tomorrow's first round, and how they've, figured out how to play these holes, what they like about it. What I love about golf tournaments and majors just really push that even more forward is the idea that you watch around and you get the idea on what holes are like the bear holes. Like, oh boy, number 6 is coming, or you might have 14 that's an eagle type birdie / hole. And it's kind of fun as you watch that in the Sunday, knowing, all right, my golfer's 3 behind, but he's coming up on 14, chance here to eagle or chance here to birdie and maybe catch somebody. So that's kind of the fun thing for me is learning a golf course. Well, we know Augusta so well, right? Amen Corner. We know everything about Augusta. And believe me, I'm glad that we do know, and I'm glad that it's every year we get to watch tournaments there. But I'm excited to see kind of a newer course and see what it brings. What is the weather in LA? Obviously, it's good, but is it going to be windy? Is it going to be extra hot? I don't know. I mean, so I'm excited to see what kind of that is going to bring to the table, Mother Nature essentially, to see what happens here. But that long story short, I still don't know who I'm going with that $20 bet, and I'm waiting on Piper to do it.
I've already bet Cam Smith, so I have a little hesitation then to opt in and double down on him. But I really like him this weekend as a play. I'd still be all right with Morikawa, just maybe not. I'd be fine with playing his odds, like 35-1 for him to win it is completely a very good price. It's just
Amen.
Whether you want to go $25 and then is he safe enough with that back issue to say, oh, well, then if he's not going to win it, he'll be in the top 20. I don't know that he is that guy, but I'm scaring myself how many experts are continually backing him and how much I am tempted. I have not bet on Victor Hovland in like a year and a half.
A lot of people are.
And he's been awesome.
I was looking at the ESPN projections, and I think Marty Smith, I think Scott Van Pelt, there were like 4 or 5 of them that took Hovland.
Victor Hovland should be scared that I might bet on Victor Hovland.
Hey, you need to let me know if you're betting on Victor Hovland because then I'll stay away from
I kind of want
your
to.
guy.
But
well,
real quick on the course, I pulled this from an article on The Athletic. I don't know if this is a little bit of a hyperbole, but I mean, it hasn't hosted a tournament, a major tournament. They've tried there for years, apparently.
Okay.
But it says the 126-year-old course, it is the Los Angeles Country Club that's potentially more private than Augusta National. Will host the U.S. Open for the first time. And it goes on to say it's a rustic course that goes up and down through canyons and makes golfers wrestle with decisions around jagged bunkers and rugged, dry. And then I ran into a word that looked like barracuda, and I knew it wasn't. So I don't know. It says the beauty is in the messiness. So that'll be interesting.
So this could be interesting. This could be one of those where you're watching golfers fail. Kyle, can you effort the length of the Los Angeles Country Club? I know Augusta's 7,500. I'm anxious to see the length of this course, knowing that the rough's going to be that bad, because that's a bad combination, right? If it's a longer course to where you're having to hit long off the tee, but also risking getting in that rough. I like what you say, though, about the cavernous. Like, are they be hitting like down in – by the way, did you happen to catch the interview of the Virginia pitcher the other day?
I didn't.
We've got to play that when we come back. All right, I'm back on the tracks. Length? 7,200. Oh, we don't have it.
7,200.
Okay, I was wondering if it'd be right around the 72 because, again, Augusta's about 75. Some of these courses can play longer. So 72 is fair. I think that's fair. Lucas asked me a question the other day that said, from how many yards out on every hole? So picture yourself playing 18 holes at Augusta. How many yards out would you need to be to win the Masters? So think about it. So if you started 100 yards out on every hole, could you win the Masters? So let's take a regular 9. Let's say you're hitting 9-iron in or wedge, and let's say on 4 of the 9 holes you're on the green in 2 or in 1, and surely you can 2-putt, right? On 3 of them. Mm-hmm. So you're 3 under after 9. So you're 6 under after the first round. Well, you'd be 24 under after 4. You'd win the Masters. So could you do it from 150 yards out? Or maybe you're taking more of an 8-iron or maybe a 7 if you don't hit the ball far, or some of you maybe 6. I don't know. To where then, I thought it was interesting.
I would need, knowing this style, people are going to laugh at how I golf. I golf with like 3 clubs.
Well, listen.
But I'd have to be like 150 out with a 7 wood and maybe not even tee it up.
The old hybrid?
Yeah, not even tee it up.
Okay. Well, that's
maybe.
fair. Listen, I don't laugh at that because I never have hit a long ball.
I can't hit irons for anything.
You just can't hit irons.
No.
See, like the
Period.
8-iron is my favorite club in the bag. I can hit 8-iron pretty efficiently from anywhere from like 140 to 160, right in that. But then you go to you give me like a 5-iron or a 4-iron, I hit that the same distance. It's like, wait a minute, I hit an 8-iron as far as I hit a 4-iron. That makes no sense. So I have a little club in my. It's a hybrid called. It just says Snake Eyes on it, and that thing is the best club I have because I hit it solid every time. Whereas an iron is hard to hit. I'm with you. I think the not everyday golfer struggles with long irons or irons of anything.
Irons.
But short game was always my strength when I was pretty good at it. You know, anything you give me a wedge around the
pitch.
green. Yeah. And I grew up on Villa Grove, Tri-City. Well, we don't have very big greens, so you're not hitting the green a lot of times in two. So you're chipping. You need to make that, up and in basically to grab par. But then I'd go to a bigger course for regionals, and I'd be on the green in two. But now I've got a 58-yard putt or 58-foot putt, and I'm like, well, our greens aren't even that big. So it's like, what do I do here? And I'm putting off the green. I'm like, crap. Or I'm leaving it 20 feet short. And I'm like, ugh. I think it's an interesting thing to figure out how far back are you comfortable in saying you could still win a major. I think that's pretty cool.
I don't even feel that comfortable at 150.
So like 100 yards out, you'd be playing an 1,800-yard course, whereas like the Masters is 7,500. So that kind of shows you where you are compared to a PGA professional.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I think if you put me 150 in, I could have a chance. I think I could have a chance. But there again, these greens are so fast, and we don't even understand. I mean, we do a little bit, but the curves and the what am I trying to say? The undulation of the green. I mean, we think that if we put it on, we're going to 2-putt. I'm guessing we would 4 or 5-putt a lot. So I don't know. I'm just something for everybody out there to listen. You're listening. Just how far out would you have to go, or how close would you need to be to win a major in the PGA? I'd
also need a cart.
Yeah,
and some beer.
Well, see, that's the thing is that I can't. I played that. What do they call it over in Savoy?
So I wouldn't have to have a cart, but like if
I wouldn't need a cart.
Caddy's got some beer with him, then
I need my caddy to have a cart.
A pull cooler.
I want my caddy to have a cart that I can sit in on occasion, and also it has a cooler of beer there.
Yeah.
What am I trying to say? The Players Opener. What was it? Gosh dang it! They do it every year at Savoy, and it's a 2-man thing. Anyway, Lucas and I played that one year, and on Saturday I was horrible. And I just said, like, I didn't drink the whole round. And I was horrible. And I'm like, well, tomorrow I'm opening a beer as soon as we get there. And on the last 9, you play your own ball. And I shot like 37 or 38. And Lucas was mad at me. He's like, why weren't you drinking from the start? Now, keep in mind, if I normally go out and play the orange course, I'm not shooting 38. It's a normal 40, especially now. I haven't played in 3 years. So it'd be 45, 50. But back then I was playing a little bit. But yeah, the beer just kind of got me going. I was like, let's go, man. I'm hitting the ball well here. And he got mad at me for not drinking. This is when he was young in high school.
Throwing you off your rhythm.
I know. That's terrible, man.
I think even I know we got to catch a break. Wasn't it Mike Small that told us that, because we mentioned that as we struggle, it makes us want to drink. And he said the key is to drink before you play.
Right. Shotgun before
and then
a hole.
You play better.
Yeah, because I said if we birdie, we do a shotgun. The problem is you and I never birdie. And he's like, well, you're doing it wrong. You need to shotgun a beer, and then you'll birdie. I think that makes a lot of sense.
Okay.
I think it makes a lot of sense. All right, well,
fun talking golf.
What is it?
It was fun talking golf.
Yeah. You said that, and it sounded like a weird word you said the next one. Fun talking golf. The way you said it, I was like, what'd you just say?
Did I say anything wrong?
Did you just hit the dump button?
No, I didn't.
No, you didn't. It was just the way you said it. I was like,
off.
whoa.
Goodbye. My career's over.
We got to figure out who we're doing. I want to ask the golfers out there, if you had this FanDuel bet, $20, and if your golfer finishes top 20, you get that money back. And if he wins, of course, you get all the money. So who are you going with for the U.S. Open tomorrow? I'm anxious. The problem, hey, this will be prime time too, by the way, L.A., right? You're not getting up in the morning and watching golf. This is going to be 1 to 7 in the afternoon,
Good call.
1 in the afternoon till 7 o'clock at night. So keep in mind your viewing pleasure is going to be afternoon to night. Or you record that, get home from work, you can watch it from 5 to 10. Perfect.
After you just said that, for some reason, Anchorman's Afternoon Delight song just clicked in my head. Afternoon Delight.
Fire up the grill.
I'm singing. I need to catch a break.
Couple coldies. Yeah, we got to catch a break. My fault.
Maybe some baseball talk, and then we'll tell who we're gonna. Yeah, I kind of want to do a thing.
Oh, that's right. You want to rant.
Well, and I also want to do the. Here's also a tease for you. If we got a lot of Cardinals fans out there, a lot of Cubs fans out there, even if you're a White Sox fans out there, we got a lot of teams that stink.
We do.
You're a fan of. Face the reality. You're a fan of a team that stinks. I'm offering you a chance to rent a team for the rest of the year. Who would you be a fan of for the rest of the year? Put that out to the text line, 217-359-2255. I want to get Kyle and Lon's answers and myself, and then I'll probably get angry at the Cardinals in the meantime. But there's that. We're going to check the tape, see if I said anything bad. It is The Drive.
You're listening to WSJK ESPN 93.5 Tuscola, Champaign-Urbana, your home for the St. Louis Cardinals. Looking to eat healthier and buy locally? Savannah Ridge Farms in Indianola, Illinois has been expanding their yak herd for nearly 2 years, offering local farm-to-table meat containing absolutely no antibiotics, no hormones, or steroids. Savannah Ridge Farms is raising 100% all-natural yaks that feed on organic grass and hay in chemical-free open land. Yak meat is one of the best sources of protein and is nearly 100% fat-free. So if you want healthy, nutrient-dense, vitamin-packed red meat without the worry of how it got to your plate, visit SavannahRidgeFarms.com and check out their Facebook page. Look for Savannah Ridge Farms at Urbana's Market at the Square on Saturdays. They deliver to Champaign and Vermilion counties, and you can also pick them up at their farm. Visit SavannahRidgeFarms.com for incredibly healthy yak meat. SavannahRidgeFarms.com. Kelsey Furniture in downtown Tuscola sells Tempur-Pedic beds. What's it like?
I'm going to tell you right now, Stevie, that thing is the best thing I've ever slept on in my life. My wife and I both have said we've never had better night's sleep. And the people at Kelsey's were fantastic. Brian is the guy that helped us. You know, as much as I did my research, he had a world of knowledge about beds themselves. Oh, man, it's like sleeping on a cloud, man.
Kelsey Furniture, downtown Tuscola. Looking to eat healthier and buy locally? Savannah Ridge Farms in Indianola, Illinois has been expanding their yak herd for nearly 2 years, offering local farm-to-table meat containing absolutely no antibiotics, no hormones, or steroids. Savannah Ridge Farms is raising 100% all-natural yaks that feed on organic grass and hay in chemical-free open land. Yak meat is one of the best sources of protein and is nearly 100% fat-free. So if you want healthy, nutrient-dense, vitamin-packed red meat without the worry of how it got to your plate, visit SavannahRidgeFarms.com and check out their Facebook page. Look for Savannah Ridge Farms at Urbana's Market at the Square on Saturdays. They deliver to Champaign and Vermilion counties, and you can also pick them up at their farm. Visit SavannahRidgeFarms.com for incredibly healthy yak meat. SavannahRidgeFarms.com.
Hey, Class A CDL drivers. Gale Frericks Trucking wants to invite you to join our team and get a taste of what it's like to work with a team that cares about you, your home time, and your professional growth, as well as your paycheck. This is Operations Manager Donna Onstadt inviting you to join us as we continue building the company you would have started if you knew then what you know now. Gale Frericks Trucking. Call 765-793-7131 today. Our drivers are pre-dispatched, make a guaranteed minimum gross pay of $1,200 per week, have paid vacations and benefits, and are home every weekend and sometimes during the week for quality family time. Our openings are limited, so don't miss your opportunity with the top-paying trucking company in the area, Gale Frericks Trucking. Call 765-793-7131 today. The days are getting longer, and our customers are booking us up with freight. Gale Frericks Trucking. 888-765-793-7131 or email timo@gftlog.com.
Hi, it's Stevie J. Start your day with me along with Diane Ducey, weekday morning 7 to 9 here on ESPN Radio 93.5.
Back on the drive with Tay and Piper, ESPN Radio 93.5. Appreciate to all you weighing in on the U of I Atlantic Link test line. We have Darren who says he'd bet John Rahm for the FanDuel Top 20 promotion.
Not a bad bet. Got us the victory at the PGA.
Very solid.
I mean, he is solid. He hits a long ball. He's pretty straight. He's pretty solid around the green. Yeah, John Rahm's
a stud.
Good. He is a stud.
Richard taking a gamble. Ricky Fowler.
Interesting.
You bring him up occasionally. Like you kind of have a draw to Ricky, but
I do. I just always wanted to see him win a major. He's the next Steve Stricker, right? Strick is like dominating right now on the they don't call it the senior PGA. What do they call that now? I can't remember what it's called. Anyway, Strick just won the tournament this past weekend in Madison, his hometown, and won it by like 5 strokes. I mean, it's almost like unfair now because he's like 50 or 51 or whatever. He's older than that, but you know what I mean? He's new onto that tour, and he can still play like a PGA guy almost. He still has length. He's a great putter. He's always been a great putter. So it's almost unfair that Strick goes on there and and he's won a couple majors on the senior, but he never won that major, right, on the PGA, and I always hated that. Number one, I hated it because he was an Illini, but also he's just a great guy. Played golf with Mike Small in college, etc. Well, now you get that sense that Ricky Fowler is going to be that guy. Sergio Garcia was going to be that guy, but then he pulled through and won a major. So Ricky Fowler's that guy. I would be in not heaven. I'm not that big of a Ricky Fowler. I like what Ricky's done. Like, Tiger brought so many people to golf. There's nobody even close to what Tiger accomplished in terms of making golf what it is today. But Ricky Fowler was a guy that really resonated with younger fans, right? He had the bright colors. He had the flat bill hat that the traditionalists were like, well, why you dressed like the mascot for Illinois, But he's got a cool factor to him.
Mm-hmm.
And he's a nice dude, right? He looks like he'd be a fun guy to hang out with, right? So I don't know why I'm Brett Bielema all of a sudden saying right, but I think Ricky Fowler would be a guy that I don't think anybody out there would be that upset to watch him win a major. And I think it'd be a very emotional thing for him because there were like we mentioned, he finished second in the U.S. Open. I think he's been close in other tournaments. He's a guy that was a top-notch golfer for many years on the PGA, a Ryder Cup guy, and won a golf favorites. And he just never pushed through in that major. So I don't know. It's kind of like the Mike Small winning a national title. I mean, inside me, I just really would love that story of watching Ricky Fowler win a major.
On the note of likability, Max Homa.
Yeah, he's fun, man.
He's a fun guy. I know that social media presence is always really good too. And out from California, has not performed the greatest at majors, but 217 brought him up as Max Homa to bet on, which he's a tempting pick. I've seen him out there for some, at least throwing a one of your, usually you might bet on 4 or 5 golfers, one of your 5 to throw a little bit of change on. I like that. I don't have anything against that for sure.
Was it the Players or the Masters that they had him mic'd up?
I don't know.
Do you remember that? And they followed him for like 5 holes, and he was hilarious. And it was like round 2, let's say, or 3, and he was kind of just hanging on. But he hit a big birdie, I remember. He hit a big putt. And he was just like, yes, and they were talking to him about it, and he's like, man, guys, there's no better feeling. There's no better feeling than making that putt right there. And he was just a cool guy to listen to. He had some cool stories, and you can tell he's a fun guy.
Mm-hmm. I know you don't want to go here, Lon.
Yokobobo.
I know Kyle's not that fired up about this sport either, but let's have some
College
fun, guys.
World Series?
No.
Oh.
Let's have some fun. I'm presenting a fun angle. I'm not going to ask you, give me 5 minutes straight on why your team's going to turn the season around. Like,
Okay.
we don't got to.
That's fair. I want Kyle to go first on this.
All right. We might have some crossover. We might pick some of the same team.
Yeah.
There's some good options. I offered this up, and I'll read some of the text line answers first before we go through here. If you can rent a team as a fan for the rest of the year because the Cardinals stink out loud, they're a joke. The Cubs stink almost as loudly. They're like 2 games up on the Cardinals. And then the White Sox also stink. Rent a team as a fan. We got Hook from Villa Grove says he would rent the Reds.
Okay.
Good young nucleus. De La Cruz looks like a stud.
He does.
It's true.
That's a good call, Hook.
And as sad as it is, they're still in the mix to win the division. Oh, my God. I can't believe I just said that. Kevin says the Braves.
Oh, yeah. It's hard
Great
to go
team,
wrong there.
Acuna. All right, Kyle. What say you?
I got 2 that I would debate between that I've been thinking about. I feel like I know who you're going to say.
I know who
Am I giving it away?
Based on some of the
yeah.
apparel you've
No
worn.
doubt.
And that is one of the teams that I was considering, so I'll go with a different one. I'd go with the Baltimore Orioles. 42-24. They've been awesome. One of the best offenses in baseball this year. And they got the top farm system in baseball with a lot of guys either already in the majors doing damage or on the cusp that'll probably see the majors here this summer. And so they're just
Good pick.
really fun young team, and I think that would be my go-to. I don't want to be boring and pick a Braves that have just won it all or anything like that. I want a young up and coming team that I can get behind. I'm going the Orioles.
I like that.
The team I'm going with has had success, don't get me wrong, but I want to score runs. I want to watch a fun team score runs, and the team that leads baseball in runs scored at 409. In fact, they lead the plus-minus run differential at plus 142. I'm going Texas Rangers.
Yeah.
Give me that team that is lights out. I mean, they were kind of what we thought maybe the Blue Jays would be last year, right? With a lineup that just bashed and thought would score a lot of runs. Not that they didn't, but the Rangers are just fun. On top, of course, by 3.5 games over Houston in that West. Yeah, I think Texas. Plus, I've got that pullover that's a Champagne Tribe, but it's the Texas
like a
logo.
Texas Rangers,
so
yeah.
I even have apparel for my Rangers squad. So if I'm switching teams, which I'm about 4 days from, I'm going Rangers.
I love both of your choices. The Rangers would be in contention for my top choice, but speaking of having apparel, I have my D-backs hat on right now. I'm riding with the D-backs.
Let's go.
Zach Gallen is in the mix for Cy Young there in the National League. Former Cardinal. I can just hop back on that bandwagon.
Well, I've got the former Cardinal with the Rangers, right?
You do, with Adolis Garcia. Any former Cubs and the Orioles, Kyle?
No, I don't think so.
No? Okay. No. Corbin Carroll, we talked about him yesterday. In the mix for he's the favorite runaway right now for the NL Rookie of the Year. In the mix for the MVP. Did he homer again last night? I think
Did he really?
I think he's
Why
got
did we not
close
take
to
him on Dinger Tuesday?
Yeah, I know. He's hitting like 320 with like 15 home runs and 20 stolen bases. I mean, we're talking about a 30-30 guy. And his stolen base is probably going to be closer to 40, maybe even 50.
That's amazing.
He's electric. They still got Evan Longoria, who I can't believe is still playing. But
the guy I wanted the Cardinals to get for 10 years.
Yeah. And I think with all of this, too, if we're renting a team for a year, we could even factor in, like, what if we wanted to go to one of their games? Who wouldn't want to go to Arizona? I want to sit in the jacuzzi out in right center field. Why wouldn't you want to go to Texas? That looks like the coolest ballpark in baseball right now.
I'll go to Arlington.
And then
you'd have a place to stay in Arizona. Stay with Lucas.
True that. I want to go back.
Yeah.
I really do.
Oh, well.
Camden Yards.
Oh,
really cool place. Baltimore.
Beautiful.
I did not go to a game there, but walked around, and it's cool that out in that brick building out beyond right field, they have plaques of different
that's so cool
hits that have been there, and the names. So like Ken Griffey Jr. hit one 450 feet, and
You're kidding
where
me.
it went off the building. Like Jim Tomey, like all from different Like the last 20 years.
Do they still have Boog
Plus.
Powell's barbecue or whatever out in right field as well?
I don't know.
I think. That's awesome. Baltimore would be fun. Is it safe around the stadium? Baltimore's not exactly a...
Right. I mean, they did have The Wire, right?
Mm-hmm.
The show. I haven't watched that.
I haven't either.
Put on another list of shows that I have not seen.
You got a bunch.
Yeah.
You got a bunch.
I walked around and made it home.
Okay,
so,
that's fair.
I can at least offer that up. That's all
fair.
I know.
I'm kidding. I'm sure it's fine. Man, I really want to play
The Rangers
this.
was another team that I really wanted to pick.
Oh, man.
Their offense is crazy.
I really want to play this Virginia pitcher
Oh, yeah.
interview.
All right, let's catch a break.
You want to do that real quick?
Yeah. We got a little bit of time.
It's hilarious. Let's take a quick break and get it on.
Quick break, and I'll get that back to you. Continue to weigh in on the text line, 217-359-2255. Someone's rolling with me at 217, says D-backs as well.
Boom. I'm surprised nobody said the Rays.
Yeah.
But they're
Almost
just
seems
kinda,
too easy.
Yeah, it seems too easy. That's exactly right.
But it's a team that hasn't won it before, though, so it's not like picking the Yankees.
Yeah, I know, exactly.
Or, hey, I'm going to ride with the Dodgers.
Rays
I bet you would.
They're an easy team to root for, the Rays.
Yeah.
No doubt.
For sure. All right, catch a break. Play the sound before we get out of here.
Okay.
It's The Drive.
If you're looking for a pre-owned car, truck, or van, look no further than Sarah Champagne. You know them for their 5 incredible vehicle brands, the BMW, Honda, Subaru, Buick, and GMC. But did you know they also have over 100 used cars, trucks, and vans in stock right now? And at Sarah Champagne, they will take care of you. You can trust them. And prices begin at under $2,000. Stop by Sarah Champagne. They're Burwash and Savoy, or go online, sarahchampagne.com. That's Sarah, SERRA, champagne.com.
Want unbeatable prices on your next furniture purchase, but also seeking that local hometown feel? Look no further than Kelsey Furniture in Tuscola. Customers rave about their friendly, established staff, as well as their great selection, amazing prices, and second-to-none delivery service. They're a third-generation local business, and they've always got your best interests at heart. Find the look you love for less. Open 9 to 5 Monday through Saturday, but always available online at kelseyfurniture.com. That's kelseyfurniture.com.
You're listening to WSJK ESPN 93.5 Tuscola, Champaign-Urbana, your home for the St. Louis Cardinals.
Are you kidding me? Little wild ride.
Finishing up here on The Drive with Sam Piper. Wanted to play you this clip. What's his name again?
I think it's Steven Soch.
Steven Soch for Virginia.
Yeah.
This is after their Super Regional?
I think so. Yeah, well,
All right.
I think it was
Or
after
regional?
one of the games in the Super Regional.
Gotcha. Here's a 2-minute clip. It's the title on the video here on it's a ESPN video on YouTube. It says this might go down as the greatest interview in college baseball history. So
it's hilarious.
You need to hear it. Here it is.
But
there you go.
You're gonna be all right. Sorry, I sweared.
Oh yeah, you got to go back.
Good, man.
I
Let's
apologize.
go back
I
to
know
last
that
inning.
our board is not
8,000
set up
people,
today.
They all want
There
you
we
to
go.
lose. But as long as you got your 26 guys ready to kick ass or kick butt,
listen,
you're gonna be all right. Sorry, I sweared.
Sorry,
No, you're good, man. Let's go back to that last inning, 9th inning. What are the emotions like entering that inning?
Well, emotions are go in, win. I heard a fan offer free Dippin' Dots if I blew it, which the price of Dippin' Dots with inflation is just unreal. So for a brief moment, I was like, damn, Dippin' Dots sound good. But also I thought in the back of my head, we win today, we win tomorrow, or tonight. We're going to be here another day. That's more per diem. So that means I can buy my own Dippin' Dots and be a winner.
And be a winner.
Like, I'm going to go out there. I'm going to attack. I think 3 words every time I'm out there. The first one's a swear word, starts with F. Second word's attack. Third one's win. And I just repeat that to myself. Unless, there's a breach in the system and I walk a guy and I got to tell myself I'm a few different things that isn't a winner. I might break that, but then I get right back on it. Just this attack win, And
Steve,
it's really easy pitching when you got a defense like ours. I tell you, it's so easy when they're behind you. As long as you keep it in the yard, you got a chance, which is pretty cool.
Pretty cool.
Does anything make you nervous?
Caves. Mainly. Nothing really. I mean, I don't see any caves out here. I know we're in the south, but it's not the desert. That's where I find most caves are probably at. But, this is just a game. There's going to be way harder things in life than striking out the side or not walking somebody. So I don't really get too caught up in all the jibber jabber and all the mean things people might say to me, because it's just, I think I'm a cool guy. My dogs think I'm awesome. My teammates like me. And my friends like me. So I'm going to attack. I'm going to win. Simple.
Here's one last one for you.
Yeah, no problem.
You've heard this before.
Yeah.
No problem.
When people say Kenny Powers, what do you think?
I think, damn, I'm doing a good job. Because like I said, the dude took 86 to the big leagues after being out of the big leagues. You kidding me? He took that and turned it into a winner. So people are like, oh, Kenny Powers. I'm like, I might throw a little differently, a little firmer than he did after, he started boozing and doing drugs. But, that probably won't be a big part of my life as it was his. But, hey,